Hi guys, this is Matt Z from the Optimus Studios. I have a really good friend with me here today. His name is Moritz. I've known him now for a number of years, and we met through a mutual friend of ours. And he created something very, very unique called EdgeWonk. EdgeWonk is a tool that analyzes your trades, puts them in an objective manner, and you can clearly see, what are you doing right, what you're doing wrong with the attempts to, and when you look at it, you should attempt to improve your trading with it. So the idea here is to move from a gut-based feeling to something that you can see clearly. Because a lot of traders out there, when they start trading, they always go back and forth between paper trading, real trading, trading models, one day trade, Elliott wave, next day Fibonacci, next day, they buy something else. So the idea here is basically to have something objective that you look at. So without further ado, Moritz from EdgeWonk. Moritz, thank you for being here today. Really appreciate the time that you took to be here with us. And by the way, Moritz right now is in Frankfurt, right?
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being with us. So before we get into the EdgeWonk characteristics and the software that you built for yourself as a trader, now you share it with others as well. Tell us a little bit, what asset class did you start with and why?
That wasn't by choice, actually. I started with Forex, and actually I was a poker player before, and I was in a group of other poker players where we exchanged our strategies and ideas and so on. And one of them, he had the idea one day to look for something which is more like leverageable than poker. So he went on Google and he found trading, and he found Forex trading first. So it could also have been stocks or futures. He just got into that and I followed him. So yeah, it wasn't an informed choice. It was just first thing that popped up on Google.
I understand. And in Europe, obviously, Forex is a lot more popular than it is here in the United States. So I definitely understand your choice. Tell me, so that's interesting. So you come from the poker place, professional poker, right? And now you're transitioning into trading. So what was your primary method of trading when you started out?
There was day trading, which also originated from my poker days because I was just playing like 4,000 or 5,000 hands in a day on online poker, and I just needed the action. Like I couldn't wait for days or hours for a trade, and also for a trade to finish. So because in poker a hand is done in a matter of minutes, and I just couldn't handle the being in the market for many hours. So I started out with day trading on the 1 minute and 5 minute charts, very, very short term. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, you got to trade something that fits your nature, right? Some people are better for long term. Some people just, they need to trade short term. Whatever. I guess you found your niche in that.
Yes.
So now you're going from professional poker that I understand you did for a living. Now you're going into day trading. So when did you know you're ready to trade professionally, full time as a trader? When did that transition occur?
That was when I had a positive expectancy first, of course, on my strategy. And when I was making roughly 2 times my monthly income on average. So I didn't have a huge track record. It only took me around 2 years to become profitable in trading by my definition. Like being profitable is, everyone has to define that for himself. But by my definition, I was ready to go. And I had some savings for 6 to 12 months based on my lifestyle. So I felt I should just give it a shot, and it worked out for me. So it was a controlled risk I took. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Did you feel any changes in psychology when you went like full-time trading? Was there a transition there, or was it smooth for you? Because I'm sure a lot of our viewers, they want to be full-time traders. Can you elaborate maybe a little bit on that, your psychological transition from being, okay, nobody's going to give me a paycheck anymore, I'm going to be full-time right now?
It was huge. I instantly had a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out. And yeah, I took the first trade, and I can still remember it. It was a perfect trade, and it didn't go my way. I said, okay, it's a perfect trade, and it came back. So I entered again, another loss, and I entered again, another loss. So my first three trades as a professional trader were losses, and then I said, okay, I have to do this totally differently. So the first 3 months of my professional trading career, I actually backtested. I went back to the drawing table and I backtested my strategy over many, many years. And then I went back to trading with the new confidence. And then it slowly became better and better. Then I could replicate basically my performance from when I still had a paycheck.
Thanks for sharing that. Um, Something that I'm curious about, how do you apply risk management in your trading? So, you have good trades, you have bad trades. How does the whole risk management plays out, let's say, after a period of a month?
So for risk management per trade, I have always been doing it that I simply risk 1% of my equity on any given trade. That's how I've been doing it for many years. And then I figured out that I have actually an objective way to figure out which trades are awesome and which trades are just mediocre. So I started to switch up my bet size, my trade size. Still speaking a lot in poker terms. And then just 1% of my equity on standard trades, 0.5% on mediocre trades or discretionary trades. Sometimes I take them where I just have a feeling, and then 2 to 3% on the AAA trades. And that has improved my performance a lot while still maintaining volatility of my portfolio almost the same, actually. No.
I see. So I know that poker players, they look a lot at analytics. When
Yeah.
did you decide to look at the analytics of your own trading? How did it come about, creating this sort of parameters for yourself to analyze your own trading objectively?
Yeah, it was straight from the beginning because in poker I always had a statistical tool to track everything I did basically. So I knew that I need something to track my performance from the beginning. I'm huge on journaling anyway. Like I do sports or my calorie intake, my sleep. I track basically everything. So it was just natural to me that if I want to learn, I need a objective feedback loop, and that's when I started tracking from the beginning. But the problem is, of course, I didn't have a strategy. So first, you need an objective strategy to track, because if you only track every trade without any background, then you're comparing apples to bananas, which doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And yeah, and then just that's also what helped me to stick with my strategy, because I knew every time I deviate to a new strategy, I have to completely restart my whole statistics and database, and I basically reset my progress to zero. So that's what helped me a lot with system hopping as a new trader, which I did in the beginning, and then I just stopped it.
I see. So you come from, okay, so now you decided I'm going to create the analytics, I'm going to measure myself. So coming from the non-trading world into trading, what now you're looking at obviously at parameters that people measure their performance, right? So you go on the internet, and you see how to measure performance, things like that. What, in your opinion, was missing for you out there that some of our traders that do track? What was missing for you in terms of parameters that would give you more of an objective picture of what you were doing?
Yeah, it was almost everything. Like whenever I read in a book about a trading journal, I asked a trader what they are tracking in that journal. Almost every one of them only had like a date, entry, exit, win or loss, and not much else. And then I thought like, okay, I can just look at my broker statement. I get the same information. I'm making money or I'm losing money, but I don't know why. And then I started looking much deeper into what makes up my strategy first, of course. And my strategy is very dependent on news and market environment. So I simply started tracking the market environment and which news I was trading. And then also, for example, my own personal state of mind, because I'm a systematic discretionary trader. So the discretion part is maybe only 10 to 20% of my strategy, but it makes up maybe 80% of my performance. Because if it wasn't like
Interesting.
that, I could just code my strategy and be done with it. So I was looking into how do I feel that day? How did I sleep? Maybe I had some trouble at home, some drama. You never know the spouse what she's gonna do next. So you know, or
Right.
you look at your credit card statement, it's like, oh damn it, I'm already 5K in the hole, in the black, in the red this month. So I started tracking all that psychology as well, and I found some very interesting correlations. Then later, I wanted to improve my performance. So how do I do that? Well, I have to see whether my take profit and stop loss placement does make sense, or whether I could hold trades longer, or I should place my stops tighter, and so on. So I just looked at my trading strategy and the environment and thought about how I could improve my performance potentially step by step. And that's when I tracked more and more and more data. And of course, some of the data points I tracked, they turn out to be completely useless. That's just how it is. But maybe the other half, the other 50% turn out to be, they gave me insights which I would never have imagined, right?
Wow, that's interesting. So now, okay, so I see that really tracking, it's not just part of your trading, it's just part of your lifestyle for everything.
Yes.
So, right. So now you build your own parameters to measure your performance. Can you talk a little bit about now that you're tracking your trading, now that you're looking at your analytics, how did your trading improve? Did it give you a new light on your trading? Were like aha moments? You're like, well, maybe my trades are not good at this time, or maybe not good on this instrument or others. What happened after you start looking at your analytics? What were the surprises, and where did it improve? How did you improve from there?
Yeah, for me, the biggest impact was trade management in the beginning, because I always thought that I had an objective way to manage my trades. But when I went back over my old trades and I looked at them, and if I had just played them set and forget, so I set my target, I set my stop loss, and I would just let them play out, actually my performance would have been potentially the double than what I had over 100 trades. So that was a huge eye opener for me. And I'm still not trading set and forget these days, but I have adapted my trade management a lot following these results, because that was just costing me a lot of money that I was filling with my trades all the time. And now, what also was another huge aha moment when I looked at my position sizing, as I said before, I was simply looking. So in my journal, I have A, B, C trades, and I simply calculated what would I have made if I had bet this and this and this on A and B and C trades. And then I figured out the optimal position sizing for my strategy. And another thing I really love is my custom statistic, which I use to track the quality of the trade and my gut feeling. So I have trade quality 1 to 5, gut feeling 1 to 5. Then how is my performance if the quality of the trade is 5, so best, and my gut feeling is 5, also best? Those are usually the money makers. I have maybe 10 trades in a year that have both qualities. Then if I have a really good technical quality of the trade, but my gut feeling is like a 1, usually I break even on those trades for various reasons. One is probably because my gut feeling tells me something which I objectively cannot know. My brain picked up something like instinct, which I haven't figured out yet. And two, of course, because I don't trust the trade as it is running. So if my gut feeling is not perfect on the trade, it's going to be much harder to manage it once I am in the trade. So that's also how you can improve your gut feeling over time, because you know you can trust it or you can't.
That's an interesting point. So I want to focus on the gut feeling for a minute. So do you believe that your gut feeling improved because of the analytics? My main question is this: do you believe that a trader can develop a gut feeling over years in trading a market without using an objective performance tool that would track his trading? Is there such thing as intuition alone that may work?
I think you could develop it over time, but it would take a lot more time, one, to develop it, and two, to trust your gut feeling if you didn't track objectively what your gut is telling you. Like for me, I know if I have this weird feeling about a trade, or I just don't, somehow I don't like it, I can look at my data and I know if I don't like a trade, there's something up with it. And if, of course, you can develop that gut feeling without objective way to assess your gut feeling, but it will take so much longer and it will be so much harder. So just make life easy for yourself.
So what do analytics reveal that intuition does not? If you had to compare, where is the advantage of the analytics over the intuition, and why? I want to tell you personally, I really believe that we have to look objectively at what we do. I personally don't trust my intuition on anything. I always say numbers and facts, right? And this is where big data plays a role today, that people don't want to just say we feel or we think. They like to use analytics. So tell me a little bit where the analytics, fill your space in terms of decision making.
Yeah, so I mean, numbers are of course the money maker. If the numbers are not right, you are not going to make money. And usually our intuition is not good when it comes to percentages, probabilities. And there are some experiments which have been conducted about that. So you can read up on that. It's our intuition is horrible when it comes to games of chance.
Right.
And trading is a game of chance. So our feedback loop is broken. So imagine you are a footballer, you know every time you do this is going to happen, like almost every time. But in trading, you do this, 10 different outcomes. So you need to have an objective way to assess what you are doing works over the long run. And over the long run can be a very long time. It can be years sometimes. You need a huge sample size for some things to play out. So if you want to assess big numbers, you definitely need the data. If about your intuition, it is still quite helpful, to be honest. Like even if my data tells me, as I said before, this trade is a perfect trade, my intuition tells me something is fishy about this. I have to assess. I go with a lower risk on that. Because our brain is a pattern recognition machine, and it definitely has some things in the subconscious that we cannot access intentionally, but it's just no one knows how the brain works, right?
Right. I always tell people, I laugh when people tell me I'm always in control of myself, right? They don't realize how much the subconscious makes decisions in terms, the determination is in subconscious on things they buy, things they say, even their political opinions, right? So it's interesting. So let's focus right now on EdgeWonk. And this is what I want, to share with our traders as well. So now all those tools that you developed, now you have a challenge of moving it to a software environment. Now you're like, okay, I'm not going to use Excel spreadsheets. I want something professional that shows me right away at the end of the day, shows me, you know, the graph, shows me the decision. So tell me a little bit about how you moved all the performance criteria to EdgeWonk, and what does EdgeWonk show you today in a clear manner that you didn't have when you started out?
All right, so EdgeWonk was basically the product of my trading journal and my business partner's journal. We just put them together and we created something new out of it, and that was EdgeWonk. And in the beginning, it was in fact an Excel sheet. And then we moved on to now our professional software, EdgeWonk 2.0. And what it does is basically you can import your performance and it shows you everything that you need to know in a concise manner. And also it's very slim in a manner because there's tons of things to track. You can track everything you want, but is it helpful? Not really. So in EdgeWonk, we made sure that all the statistics we have are 100% useful to your development as a trader. We call it Trader Development Suite, actually. It's not just a journal. And you also have a psychological journal. You can write notes for every trade. You can add screenshots, and then maybe before your trading session, look at all the screenshots of all your AAA trades. So you get your brain fired up into the right mode before entering the markets. That's what I like to do. I like to look at my best past trades so I know exactly what to look for. And EdgeWonk does all this for you. Plus, you can also customize it, adapt it to your strategy. So it's a very versatile tool for every day and swing trader out there. For investors, it's probably not very helpful. We are focused more on day and swing traders, definitely. If you're holding anywhere from 1 minute to 3 months, EdgeWonk is a tool for you.
When I saw EdgeWonk for the first time, I was so impressed. I thought this is exactly what every single trader needs. And this is where you have to put the data. It shows you the graphs. It shows you all the things that you do right, wrong, in a very objective manner. So, and I started looking at all the parameters. I thought it was, and quite honestly, I'm happy that you know, it's not something that a lot of brokers would say, but I'm happy you came from, you know, being a professional poker player, because you have, in poker, there's numbers and odds, the statistical, you know, probability, and it takes, and also but in poker, you have the advantage of intuition because you're playing against a small group. Here, you're playing against millions of traders, you know, millions of, you know, billions of dollars. So you definitely need an objective tool that tells you, you know, what you did right and what you did wrong, and also improve. Even if you're a good trader, you know, I'm sure that even good traders can take a look and improve it from there as well. So it's not just not just a tool for somebody who's failing or somebody who's going through challenges, but somebody who's, you know, who's also successful in the game. So I want to continue talking about EdgeWonk. As time progresses, now that you're selling the software to traders out there and helping them out, what kind of feedback are you getting from people? And was there any kind of feedback that helped you add additional features to the software?
We get a lot of feedback from customers, and of course, some of the feedback we can't implement because it's very individual, very to that individual strategy. But most of the feedback is very awesome, like 99%. And what we are doing right now is that we try to add more and more brokers so you can import your trades automatically, more trading softwares automatically into your journal. Because like for me, I'm old school. I enter all my trades manually because I think the learning effect is much better if you do that. That's just how I think. But if you import just all your trades into a journal, I mean, for EdgeWonk to really make sense, you still have to review every single trade and add your custom statistics and so on. But still, I like to enter them manually. So, but I understand there are a lot of day traders that have maybe 50, 60 trades in a day. Okay, for them we have the import solution. Besides that, we are also going to move into the web in the future, just so we
A web interface.
exactly, yes, where people can upload their trades into the cloud, and then they don't have to fear about, like, we are making backups of the database all the time, of course, but if database is on our servers, it's much more convenient for the users. And we will have share your trade or share your database as well. If you have a mentor, he can log into your database, look at your trades, give you direct feedback, for example. And we are just going to make EdgeWonk much more socially interactive, so to speak.
You mean traders could consult with one another about the analytics?
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
Just post their statistics as well, their previous trade ideas, or they could also post filters, for example. In EdgeWonk, you can filter for anything you want. So they could post, hey, I'm making money every Monday, and every Tuesday I'm losing it. So there's something up there, and then other traders could chime in on the discussion and so on. It's going to be very interesting for us to build this community, because we have a lot of users already. And now we want to take the next step to really build them into a community which can help each other. Yeah.
I see. I know whatever you guys do, you and Rolf are very methodical. I love working with you guys.
Sure.
Everything you do is organized. You take your time, you know? It's like
Yes.
you're building the next Mercedes or BMW. So I want to go back for a minute to something that you said, and I find it very, very interesting. You said that you enter your trades manually. Again, can you repeat what are the advantages that it gives you as a trader when you, as opposed to exporting an Excel spreadsheet? And I understand not everybody can do it. Some people not only trade 50, 60 times a day, some of them trade hundreds of trades or thousands of trades. So that would be hard. But the ones who, let's say, place the 10 to 20 trades, 30 trades that could, at the end of the day, do it, what advantages do you get from placing it manually?
It's just that you are basically reliving every trade as you enter it. That's my main focus. Like, so I have to go back to my trading software. It's like, okay, I took this trade. So where did I enter? And then where did I put my stop loss, my take profit? And I have to look at how it moved. And I'm just basically reliving every trade again when I'm entering it into EdgeWonk. And that just gives me a huge advantage in experience. Because when you are in the trade, it's very hard to objectively learn or gain experience, because money is on the line, our brains are going haywire. And after the trade, it's like, okay, now there's the time to review. And that entering process for me is already 50% of the review. After I enter the trade, I already know exactly what I did wrong, what I did right, and how the trade went, and what I'm going to change in the future. And it's just to me, it's a very it's a Zen habit. It's like meditation to me. I'm looking forward to it every day to enter my trades, and it also gives me this conclusion at the end of the day that, okay, now trading is done. I've entered everything. I've done my work, and I can relax until the next session open.
I see. So do statistics change on EdgeWonk as you enter the data? So let's say you have 30 trades. You enter the first 5, you run data, you can enter the next 10, run data, and so forth, right? So you could also see how, would you think that would help? Or do you just take all the trades manually up, put them in, and then you run the statistics? Or do you run statistics as you enter a certain number of trades as well?
Yeah, for me, I look at windows of 50 trades, because, like, in statistics, they say 20 trades is a viable sample size, 20 to 25. For me, it's like 50 trades. I can say that that is giving me a clear indication of where I'm heading. So usually I take my whole database. It's like right now around 2,000 trades. And then I compare the whole sample, the 2,000 trades, to the last 50 trades. And then I compare, how did I perform? Did I outperform or underperform my whole performance? I can gain insights on short-term trends in my trading, for example. And by the way, we are also going to add indicators to our equity charts, like moving averages or Bollinger Bands, which is a feature I have been looking for a long time. So you can know where your short-term performance is going. And yeah, that's how I do it. I know a lot of traders, they review every 10 trades, every 20. For me, it's 50 is the golden number. And if I implement a change on my strategy, I will only implement one change, do 50 trades, look at the impact, change something else. Right?
That's a really good point with moving averages on the equity. I think it's an excellent addition because I actually work with a commodity trading advisor that manages money for people, and that's a big thing for him. He has a swing trading program and a day trading program, but that's one of the things that he measures. So hopefully the tool will be picked up by professionals as well. I don't think I have any other questions. I wanted, if there's anything final you want to share with our viewers, please go ahead.
I have mentored a lot of people in trading, and the main reason for all of them to become proficient in this industry or not is expectations. Like, it was always expectations for all of them. As soon as you adapt your expectations and you're not expecting to make 1,000% every day, every year, every decade, you're gonna have a much easier life, and you're gonna have a profitable career if you follow your everyday routine and so on. It is very possible to have a good life in trading. Just adjust your expectations.
I agree with you. I think that people come in with a lot of people that I talk to come in with a lot of unrealistic expectations in forex trading and futures trading, and unfortunately, it's almost like a direct correlations between expectations and the life of the account, right?
Yes.
And their life of a trader. If they come in with insane, I always tell them, look at the industry statistics. Look at commodity trading advisors. Look at professional money managers. What do they return? Not what your Instagram account told you that they're making,
Exactly.
right? But what professionals are making, and then maybe you'll have realistic and maybe then you'll be able to not be in a rush, be methodical, use tools like EdgeWonk, prepare yourself. And like you said, it still took you 2 years, which I believe, by the way, it's a short time to become a full-time trader. But I think because I know for sure you're mathematically inclined, even to look at statistics and data and everything else. So I'm sure that helped you as well, and not everybody else has. So it might take them 3 years or 4 years. But hey, it's just like a degree in university. Nobody becomes a doctor in 6 months. Nobody should be a trader in 1 month.
Yes.
Moritz, I appreciate your time very, very much. I wanted to tell you, I'm very proud of your generation. You guys are young, but you are coming up with innovative tools, something that didn't exist when I was around your age. I remember the first time I clicked the Globex and the E-mini S&P, and I traded, and all of a sudden I got a fill. And for me, it was like a miracle. Imagine being on the phone with a floor broker, waiting for execution, and all of a sudden you click and it's there, which is something you guys take for granted. So
yeah, true.
And hopefully in the next interview I will have cool pods like yours, not Studio 54 that I use here. So anyway, I wanted to thank you for your time. I appreciate the effort. To our viewers, we are going to share the EdgeWonk links with you. And again, we recommend this tool for your trading. I know that you guys hooked up right now. We're in the US. We're licensed with IG Markets for Forex, and the platform works with that. It works with Sierra. It works with Gain Trader, and a bunch of other platforms that we definitely can give you information about. Moritz, thank you. Enjoy your day.
Have a good time.
From sunny Boca to Frankfurt. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.
Yeah.